The last question now, as we address this to Robert, is presently. You know, the disciples were to be trained by the head, Christ, to go to the world, which they did. How are the lay people of today to be able to accomplish the same, to give this final call to the world?
Well, let's look at a couple principles at each time that basically religion was controlled by state. So maybe we could back up all the time to Elijah. And God raised Elijah up as a lay person, not out of the common religious schools, not out of the priests of that day, because they were all basically eating at Jezebel's table, and Jezebel, the woman, was connected to head of state and controlling everything. And so God raised up Elijah to give that loud cry to call the people out. Now, when we come down to the time of John the Baptist, basically Rome was controlling Israel. And the Israelites had corrupted themselves, and the religious system had become very corrupt with an ecumenical type movement also, the scribes, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, who were all doctrinally opposed. By the time it came down to persecuting Jesus, they had all come together and said that Caesar is our only king. And so you find at that time that to give the message, God didn't raise John the Baptist up out of the common religious school of the day. He brought him up as a lay person to give that loud cry of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way to meet the Lord.
This is the one I was talking about when I said, he comes after me. But he is greater than I am.
So then when Jesus comes on the scene, Jesus doesn't take the people out of the religious schools. Jesus the head, and he is the head of the church today, Jesus the head trains these common people to take the gospel to the world, represented as that white horse of revelation, going forth in purity and righteousness. And it's amazing, you have 12 tribes of Israel and 70 judges. Okay, Jesus ordains 12 disciples, and then he ordains 70 more to go out door to door to give the message to the world. And so we come down to this time in day and age, okay? And once again, we find that government wants to control the church. But we also find a prophetic woman, Rome, the Roman Catholic Church, who is deeply controlling behind the scenes government to control these other churches to try to force them under the banner of her.
What is coming is a world religion ruling over the kings of the earth, and this is none other than the papacy. First, look at the following in Revelation 17:4. We read of this woman that the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
And so we see that under this government control, which basically Rome is working behind the scenes to control these churches through the government, the pastors' hands are tied, and more stipulations will come so that these pastors cannot give the final Elijah message, they cannot give the loud cry, they cannot give the second and third angel's message of Babylon is fallen, come out of her, my people, don't be apart. And so what is Jesus trying to do today since pastors' hands are being tied?
Good evening, everybody. It is an honor to be here at my last, and perhaps the last, White House Correspondents' Day. You all look great. The end of the Republic has never looked better.
Jesus wants to raise up people like you that are watching as lay people in the church. And he wants to so teach them to give this final message, to take it to the world, The question is are we as lay people going to be pew sitters and wait for the pastor to spoon feed us when his hands are tied? Or are we going to be a people that are studying and preparing and asking the Lord to send us, just like Jesus sent the disciples out and the other 70 that were not the pastors out of the common schools?
Amen. Robert, thank you. It's been most enjoyable visiting with you today with Loud Cry Media. We look forward to the next visit with Robert for part 2.